Hello, and welcome back to the Pure Nintendo podcast. This is your weekly dose of all things Nintendo. My name is Gemma, and joining me this week, I am fortunate enough to have my two excellent friends. I have Kirk. Welcome back, Kirk.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. And joining us for the first time in a few weeks now, welcome back, Trev.
Yeah, been too long. Glad to be back.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back. We often have questions for you that we can't answer on the show.
Yeah, you better step in and give us some data when we need it this week, Trev.
No pressure.
Exactly. Yes, and it's a big week, another big week. I say this every week, but this is Donkey Kong Bananza week. Donkey Kong Bananza has come out, so we're going to talk about that, of course. We've got some other really cool news about the Zelda movie and other things that we will get into, as well as the games that we're playing. But let's kick things off with Donkey Kong Bananza because that has come out on Thursday the 17th, I think it was. And there's a really cool one of those developer interviews that Nintendo puts together sometimes that are really neat. They did the same thing for Mario Kart World. Have you guys had a chance to read any of this or look at the kind of related articles about it?
I glanced over based on what you linked to for us.
Nice. What about you, Trev?
I have not yet, but I haven't even gotten the game yet. I did buy it, but it's still in the mail, so I don't want to read anything until I actually have the
True.
game in front of me. Not that I
Yeah,
think
fair
they
enough.
spoiled stuff, but even little things could be a spoiler to certain people. So
Yeah, fair enough. Yes, and we won't be doing spoilers in terms of the plot or anything. That's for sure. I have been playing it. I'm reviewing it actually, which is super exciting, and spent quite a few hours in it so far. I only had it for a day or so, so it's still new to me as well. But it's I'll go into my gameplay later. But let's talk about the game because there's some really cool little tidbits of information that have come to surface thanks to this interview and other little Nintendo like bits and pieces that they've released in terms of information. So I'd love to get your thoughts on this as well. And maybe some of it's not super surprising. For example, that development started way back in, I guess, around 2017, just after Mario Odyssey came out. So it's been in development quite a long time. And we knew that the Mario Odyssey team was behind this game. But does that make you think that the next Mario game is 8 years away? That's my first
um,
thought.
it doesn't, but only because I think that'd be too long a gap
Mm,
without
mhm,
any. And granted, we had Mario Wonder, which was awesome,
mhm.
but I think that'd be too long without a 3D Mario, unless they're working on like remasters or something.
True.
Um, I imagine they probably have. There's the Odyssey team, but are they the Mario team? Like, do they have multiple teams working on
Mm,
different projects? I think traditionally that's how it is with their IPs. So I
mhm.
don't think it's gonna. I think these games can exist as their own things while still
Yeah.
seeing some of that vibe.
Yeah. That sounds that sounds good. I would hate to think it would be 8 years. I don't think anyone wants to wait that long for for a new 3D Mario. That's in
I
20.
also bet that once they got pretty far along with Donkey Kong Bonanza, they were able to split the team off and get some guys, working on something new for
Mm,
Odyssey. So,
yeah.
they didn't have everybody working nonstop on this and not touching anything else until it was finished.
Yeah. Do you think the team will be like we keep referring to them, and I say we not just as the three of us, but in general, but even in the interview, they talk a lot about Mario Odyssey. At some point, will this team become the team who created Donkey Kong Bonanza, not the team who created Mario Odyssey, or would it be the Odyssey and Bonanza team? You know what I mean? Like,
That's a mouthful.
yeah. I'm just thinking I'm a huge Mario fan, of course, as everyone knows. I do love Donkey Kong as well, but Mario is my preference. But I just think, does it make Donkey Kong feel like he's a character? But is it for fans of Donkey Kong or for the team who's put their heart and soul into this? Do you think it seems strange that we would refer to a 7, 8 year old game as opposed to the current game for a team behind it? Does that make sense?
We're talking about Odyssey. That was like one of the biggest games of you know the
Mm,
the Switch life. I mean, that was my game of the year when it came out, even
true.
ahead of Breath of the Wild. I think it was yours too, Gemma.
Yes.
if I
It
remember
was.
right. And
Yeah.
um, it's easy to forget that, right? Because it was so long
Mm.
ago, and it was sharing space with Zelda. But yeah, I think it makes sense to you attach the team name to their most recent game, and it certainly helps when it's a big game like Odyssey. I mean,
Mhm.
what's that sold? 30 plus million? I think it's top five on the Switch. So
Mm.
I,
There you
I,
go.
I think it's a compliment.
Yeah, okay. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. That puts a positive spin on it. And I certainly wasn't, I'm not against Odyssey at all. I love Odyssey, as you know. I reviewed it. I think I gave it 10, didn't I? I gave it like a
I would
perfect.
think you would have to. I can't imagine you giving it much lower.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just a fantastic game. And one thing that came out of the interview that I found super interesting in terms of that team specifically and that game being Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Odyssey, was this use of voxels that they've got with Donkey Kong Bananza. Because, even though you haven't played the game, you've seen the trailers and you know how it's very much about destruction, right? You can destroy everything in the environment. And in the interview, they talk about how they're using a technology called voxels as opposed to pixels. I don't know if you guys have read or heard about this, or maybe you were already familiar with this. I certainly wasn't. Have you heard of this before? This voxel
Oh, you
concept?
didn't know what voxels were?
I don't know if I knew. It just hadn't been something I'd really thought about,
I
to
would
be honest.
imagine you probably reviewed a game that had them, and maybe you just didn't know what it was
Mm,
called. But
probably. Yeah.
I'm sorry, not to get off topic. Have we established if because I haven't played it yet, but have we established if Kirk has? I don't remember.
If Kirk has played it, I assumed not. Sorry, Kirk. Have you played it?
No, no, I'm still waiting for someone else to one of my family members to want it and get it, and then I'll pick it up and play it for a bit, but not buying it for myself. No.
Hmm. That's
Come on,
okay.
Sam. Don't you want Donkey Kong?
Yeah. Well, it's the next big game for Nintendo and for the Switch too, of course. We've been waiting a little while now for the next first party release. And this is the first post launch release, I suppose you could say, right? For Nintendo, when you think about it that way.
For like an entirely original game. That's true.
Mm. Yeah, so there's a lot riding on it. People have been very excited in the lead up to it, just based on what I've been seeing on the internet, which is great. My first impressions, and I'll get into those when I talk about the game itself, are great, of course. But back to the voxels, because I guess I just hadn't really thought about it, but the team talked about Mario Odyssey. I don't know if you remember those levels. I can't remember is it the luncheon land, planet, whatever it is. And there's those cheese blocks, and that's Mario working with a voxel based kind of thing. And I'll put a picture into YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. But this is in the interview as well. So Nintendo's released this information saying that the team was playing with this concept even back during Mario Odyssey, but it was kind of during the excuse me, during the development of Mario Odyssey that they started to look at this. And then it became a lot easier to do something like what they do in Donkey Kong Bonanza by using voxels. But yeah, I got to say the whole world is destructive. It's not a joke. You can destroy everything. It's intense. It's crazy. It's so cool though. It's really cool.
Can you destroy like every inch of ground and just fall into a never-ending void, or there's got to be like that base layer, right?
Yeah, usually there is a base layer, but I definitely have fallen off the edge when I've reached the edge of the world. So,
Ah,
yeah, there's definitely areas where you can fall, and usually the ground is somewhat sturdy. Like there is something at the bottom that won't let you go any further, some sort of cement or it's like usually like a green in the first world anyway. It's like a green kind of almost looks like the pipe green of Mario's pipes. It's like a layer
oh,
layer of that you can't get through. I don't know what that would be. It's not like it's plastic. It's like a metal of its own, I suppose. But yeah, they have boundaries, but you can fall. So both, yes.
Is
I
it
would say.
possible to destroy something you need or want? And if so, can you recreate anything that you've destroyed?
That is a great question, and I would say yes, it is possible. And I mean, probably not need in terms of like needing to pass a level, but in terms of getting a secret, yes. I've come across that already myself, where I almost destroyed something, or maybe I even died and came back, and I'm I did it again. Oh, it was a secret, yeah. So there's these, like, challenges you can do. They're like, I guess mini levels where you jump in and do a little challenge with a time limit, or it's like a bit more of a tougher level. And I did it the first time, and there were it sort of tells you how many bananas you can get in each of these levels. There were 3, and I did it, and I got the 1, and I'm like, oh, but it says there's 3, so should I go back and try it again? So I went back in, and the first time I just went around smashing everything, and the second time when I came back, I didn't smash everything, and I realized I could climb up the things that I was smashing, and there's a banana on top. So because I was just going crazy the first time, I'd ruined my chances of finding one of the secret bananas. So yeah, you definitely can destroy things that you that you might need to get those extra elements. Can you rebuild it? Kind of, because there is a way to use, like, sand, for example. You remember in the trailer they showed how Donkey Kong, like, picked up sand and threw it, and it stuck to the wall, and you can make, like, a bridge, and
Mm.
Kirk was like, "I don't wanna be making bridges."
Here we go again.
Yes.
You want to burn bridges?
Yeah. So I haven't done that yet. I haven't really played around with that aspect too much, and in the level that I was just talking about, that little bonus level, I don't know that there was sand in that level, maybe? So I'm not sure if you can always rebuild it, but sometimes, I guess, yeah.
I think you're gonna have to change the way you normally play Gemma because you got that completionist mindset. Like, let me go back and try again. But if you're
Mm.
reviewing this game playing that way, we'll have the review up for Christmas, maybe.
I know, I've been thinking of that myself. I've been trying to balance the exploration with the progression because it's like this game, I find it quite relaxing actually, just destroying things. It's very yeah. It's kind of just makes me feel, especially after a long day at work, you just like, just bashing blocks, and it's satisfying. It's really satisfying. And I had thought I could clear out a whole section, within a time frame, 20 minutes or something. It takes a lot. There's a lot more to destroy than what you can do in 20 minutes. I would probably spend, hours if I wanted to, just destroying everything inside. So I kind of have balanced it a little bit. I try to there's a really cool move where you can do the hand slap on the ground, and that will tell you if anything in a certain radius is, like, hidden in the ground, so that's a really good way. So you don't have to just go mindlessly, cave diving or mining. You can press this thing and it kinda tells you, "Oh, there's a fossil over there, so I might just go dig over there and then move on," kind of thing. But yeah, it's a really good point, Trev. I've been very conscious of that because I want to progress a little bit. So yeah, I'm trying to do both because I want to enjoy it as well, and I am.
Did you get a chance to try, like with the kids, try the 2 player?
No, Hayden was keen the first time I played, but I really just it was sort of Thursday night, and I just jumped on for an hour before we had to go to bed, and I didn't get around to because initially you're just Donkey Kong, and then you
Oh, okay.
yeah you
That
do
makes
quick.
sense.
Yeah. You do quickly find the little rock, who we all know as Pauline. I was surprised actually how long the rock was with me before she became Pauline, but also maybe I was just spending too much time digging. So but it was a couple of hours of just me and this little rock creature. And then eventually, yeah, Pauline was revealed, which, yeah, that's not a spoiler because we know that from the trailers. But yeah, I last night I was like, "Hayden, do you wanna come and do co-op?" And he's like, "No." He was busy playing Minecraft, so
What?
I
Hayden.
know. I know. I know. We will though, we definitely will try it, yes. I did try the amiibo though. I did try that, but we'll actually that's probably
Oh.
jumping ahead a little bit, so let's maybe talk about the design a little bit more because I love that Shigeru Miyamoto, if I'm saying that correctly, was consulted on parts of the game, and we know he's the creator of Donkey Kong, so I love that he had a little bit of a test and some feedback. But particularly, and if you read this interview, you'll see they really talk about Donkey Kong's design a lot, which I think is really important because remember when it was revealed this game initially, people were a bit like, "What's with his design? Is this the new Donkey Kong?" And people were a little against it. How do you guys feel about his new design? Does anybody have a thought?
I don't have a strong opinion either way.
Yeah.
They're both fine. I certainly would not have. gone ballistic about it the way some people did
Yeah.
on the internet. Designs change. I mean, look at any popular character over time. King Kong, Superman, they all slightly
Mm.
change.
Mhm.
Each time we get a new iteration of them. So whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Apparently, the new Superman movie has some lore issue, like LORE. They changed something. I haven't seen it. I don't know what it is, but so things like that do happen. Trev, how do you feel about the new design?
Yeah, I like it. I don't mind if people prefer the rare design because I
Mhm.
get that, especially if you're nostalgic for that. But I do find it funny people say new design. It's really a return to the original design
Mhm.
because DK looks like he did in the arcade, and you know Donkey Kong Classics on the NES, and it was really the rare design. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when that came out. I'm like, wow, DK looks weird here, but I got used to it, and people will get used to this one. I think
Yeah.
it's nice if they can go back to their roots, and I think
Mhm.
we've seen that to some extent with other characters. Maybe not quite as um, it hasn't generated quite as much of a vocal response as DK has, but yeah, I hope people wouldn't miss out on the game because of that, because I think that's a goofy reason
Yeah.
to
I totally
bypass.
totally agree, and I'm so glad you mentioned that because he this is in the interview as well. They really did go back to Donkey Kong's roots. This isn't really a new design. Like, it's new in that it's his fur is a bit, more textured or whatever, and he's got costumes now, but in terms of his facial expressions and all the rest of it and his personality, which they also go into, this really is they went right back to, and that's where Miyamoto came in as well. He was part of this process. They talked to the original designers, they talked to the people who have worked with Donkey Kong, and they came up with this new, and I'm using inverted quotes when I say new because it's not 100% new. It's like it's yeah, taking that original style and making it a bit more bold, I guess, maybe. So you're exactly right there, Trev. So yeah, not something worth getting upset about, I don't think. And I think it looks great. When you play the game, you see he's so happy. He's so cool and goofy. He has his awesome facial expressions. And they even said something to this effect where because they have worked with Mario and now they're working with Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong is so much bigger, physically than Mario. He has a bigger physical presence. So they can do a lot more with his facial expressions, for example, because you can see his face a lot more clearly. So I kind of love that little tidbit of information. It's really interesting. And the other thing related to that is that some people were saying, "Oh, this is just the movie Donkey Kong. Like, is that the new Donkey Kong now?" But it's like, no, actually, the the movie Donkey Kong is based on this Donkey Kong because this one has been around, kicking around Nintendo HQ for some time because they've been developing this for some time. So I think that's really important to note that this isn't really new, and it also is really cool. So yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's funny to think about because I mean, we're old enough. Like when I started gaming, I mean, I started with the NES pretty much, and
Mm.
it's not like I had to Nintendo history to look back on. I mean, unless you want to talk about like some Game and Watch or some of their arcade stuff, but like I was introduced kind of on the ground level in a way.
Mm.
But people who grew up with Super Nintendo or 64 or even beyond, they have this generation of games maybe they're not familiar with. So maybe they just don't know
Mm.
that, hey, DK looks like classic DK. I'm hoping
Yeah.
people, if they discover that, they kind of they get over some of their um oh I don't not prejudice. I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of, but they
Mm.
just get
Yeah.
over it and the dismissiveness and be like, okay, yeah, I can accept this because it's still DK and he still looks great, just in a different, more expressive way.
Yeah. Exactly. I love that.
Well, I'm not going to buy another Donkey Kong game until he looks like he did in the original arcade game.
You're waiting to
Okay.
see what he looks like in the Intellivision port, right? So
I had the Intellivision port.
Right, there you
Oh,
go.
it was awful.
Was it?
Yeah,
that was
they.
classic.
So, did you know they actually did that? Did you know there was a Coleco released some of their games for Intellivision?
I did not.
Yeah,
I suspected as much.
yeah. That I think Carnival was the other one, another old
Ah.
arcade game. Yeah, that we had on the television.
What made
Uh,
it so bad?
It was just really janky.
Mm.
Nothing felt or looked right.
Mm.
It was just weird. I don't even think the levels were kind of the same. And there were only two. It was
2
just
levels. What?
the initial level and the what was the one, the blue one where he falls at the end.
Oh, that's
Oh.
like half the game.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
The other two screens weren't there. Yeah,
They must have had licensing issues or something, maybe, I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I hope you can find. I wish there was a way to find a video and show this in the YouTube version of the podcast
Oh,
so
yeah.
people can get a look at that.
I'll
If
try.
it's not in there, everyone, please go find a video of the Intellivision Donkey Kong.
I'll do my best to find something. Yes.
It's as bad
I,
as the Atari Pac-Man.
Oh.
whoa. Okay, now that's some serious words.
Yeah, that's I mean, I can only assume, but yeah.
That'd be a fun unlockable skin, though. Imagine if you could get DK's skin to look like in television, or uh, basically any DK game that's been out. A fun little
Mm.
unlockable, even if it was a sticker or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. Well, the last little thing, and we've already sort of mentioned that it started on the Switch 1, but I did want to just point out the screenshots. Nintendo has released screenshots to compare, and if you haven't seen them, you guys, you can look while I'm talking if you want. But also, I'll put it into the YouTube video. It's cool to see the difference, I think. And the Switch version looks perfectly fine, as we would expect. The Switch is a great system, but when you look at the Switch 2 version, you can see how much more detail they've added, because they've got more, much more power, much more to work with. So I really love seeing that. I think, this is what we were used to on the Switch. So you can just imagine what they could do with something like a new Mario, because Mario Odyssey looked great at the time, but yeah, imagine what a new 3D Mario would look like compared to that. And we've got the likes of Metroid Prime 4 coming out. That's going to look phenomenal. So Nintendo's going to get the best out of this system, and they've done that with Donkey Kong Bonanza. So yeah, it looks wonderful. But speaking of movies, because we did just mention the Mario movie and the
Well, I'm
design.
sorry, Gemma, real
Oh,
quick.
sorry.
You
Yeah,
had me thinking
yeah, go for it.
about Bonanza on Switch.
Yeah,
I hate to call it Switch One, but
I know.
um,
The original Switch, maybe.
are you able to? Do you still have you still have your original Switch,
I
right? Like, you can.
do.
Are
Yeah.
you able to like tether it, or what's the term they used? Like
Oh, like share game share. Can you do
yeah,
that?
like, are
Oh.
you gonna be able to try that? I'm wondering if you could experience it like firsthand to see, because it's one thing looking at like screenshots,
Mm.
but I'm curious, like in motion, like when things really get hectic and you're just like decimating the environment, like
Yeah.
how it would look on the Switch.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point because you can game share to Switch, can't you? So I will
Yeah,
do that and see how that works because that would be very interesting to see.
awesome.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I've got the Switch. I've got my TV on the right in its new dock is the Switch 2. On the left in its old dock is the Switch 1, which hasn't been turned on since I got the Switch 2, but it's there.
Um,
So poor little Switch, poor little Switch. But yeah, it is still there. So totally
I think
can
you
do
got to turn it on at least once a month, or it'll blow up or something. I don't know.
that. Nintendo might brick it, maybe. I don't know. I would not like that. Yeah, thank you, Trev. That is a really good point. I will do that. Maybe I can report back on that next week. Anything else related to that before we move on to some movie news? Or we're good?
No, I just hope Kirk's family gets on him so he can join in on the fun.
Yeah,
Haven't I
yeah.
got enough to play?
Yeah,
You
that's
do.
true. We do.
What is there such thing as too much though?
Yeah, there really isn't.
But I get your point. There's a limit to how much time you have. So, yeah.
Give me a demo, Nintendo. Give me a demo.
Oh,
Yes. Yes, that's
that's a
right.
good point.
I think that was offline, wasn't it, last week, Kirk? Maybe we were saying after the show last week. You were saying a demo would be great. I don't think it was on
Yeah.
the show itself. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a really good point. This would make an excellent demo, I think. And they even had a demo because I played, I got to try it the week before last. Yeah, maybe, but maybe they don't need to. Maybe it'll just sell sell really well. I will be interested to see the numbers when they come out. I hope it does well, but yeah, time will
I'm
tell.
sure it will, because I mean they've got a bit of a captive audience right now, because we've had
Mm.
Switch 2 a month, and for brand new games we've only had Mario Kart. So pretty
Mhm.
much.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's it. So, yeah, I assume it will do quite well. But, yeah, speaking of movies, because there's a couple of movie bits and pieces of news here. First of all, related to Donkey Kong, is there a Donkey Kong movie in the works? Because Nintendo filed. I forgot to look at the terminology before talking about this. Sorry, but I think what is it? Some sort of public copyright record that they've done. They've registered a untitled Donkey Kong project semicolon motion picture. So it doesn't necessarily 100% mean that's the case that they're making a Donkey Kong movie. Nintendo has not officially announced anything, of course, but they've registered it, which means they might, they could, and we know that they want to make more movies other than Mario and Zelda. So, would we like to see a Donkey Kong centric movie? Do you think? Either of you interested in that?
I'm gonna say not a movie. I'm a Donkey Kong fan, but like Mario fits for the big screen, and
Mhm.
Zelda obviously. Donkey Kong, like if we're gonna see more of him, I'd just rather see more of him in the Mario movie sequel, especially if
Mm.
that's the character they've established. What I was thinking, and they sort of did this with Sonic the Hedgehog. They have the Sonic the Hedgehog movies,
Mhm.
but they also had like that little mini series, I think on Paramount Plus or something,
Oh
that had
yeah.
the
Mhm.
Knuckles TV show. So maybe they could do, it's like the MCU too. They have their theatrical movies and then they have those shows. Maybe they
Mhm.
could have a Donkey Kong show, 6 episodes, sort of a side story or something that I'd be into.
That would be cool. Yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah. I think that'd be pretty neat. And yeah, there was the Knuckles show, wasn't it? That was on Paramount. What do you think, Kirk?
I think I could go either way. I guess I like the idea in that if they want to continue to make movies, you don't want to spread Mario too thin. I don't know how many stories you can tell about him
Mm,
before we're kind of running out of fresh ideas. So if they do want to continue to make movies about someone other than Mario, Donkey Kong seems like a good choice for me.
mhm,
But I also agree with Trev in that I think some kind of spin-off or series of some sort might be a good idea to keep people entertained, like a lower budget thing that still looks good, but obviously isn't as big and grand as the Mario movie was. Um, they could keep people happy between projects.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't know because it says the word motion picture. I don't know if that limits things, but I don't know how these things work. So it could very well be a TV series.
And like,
And
what kind of budget would they need? I mean, for
yeah,
that, because I don't think Donkey Kong would generate, um, 1.5 billion or whatever Mario
mm,
took in. I think it'd still be successful, but a lot of times, a movie can make a ton of money, but if the budget's too big, they don't end up turning much of a profit. So,
yeah, that's true. I don't think it would have quite the selling power of Mario. Like Donkey Kong, like you said, is popular, but not as popular, I would argue, as Mario.
do you remember that Simpsons, Gemma? I don't remember the episode. They were at the Noiseland arcade, and it was like Meet Donkey Kong, and he's sitting
Yes.
there like smoking a cigarette or something. He's like, "Sorry, DK, you're just not a draw anymore."
Yep, I do.
Uh,
Thank you. How did it take us 28 minutes to get to a Simpsons reference? But thank you, Trev.
we're due.
Would you? Yes. And the other piece of news related to movies is that Nintendo announced the casting for Zelda and Link in the upcoming Legend of Zelda movie, which is pretty exciting. And this was on the Nintendo Today app initially. Did you guys see it on Nintendo Today by any chance?
Nah, on the old-fashioned internet for me.
I didn't
Trevor?
get my push notification for some reason.
Oh,
'Cause I
yeah.
thought the app would do that when you get news, but I'll have to double check the
Yeah.
settings. So no, I saw it online, like Kirk.
Yeah, I was lucky because I have it on my home screen of my phone, and I think I was just going to bed, and when I went to lock the screen, there was a picture of Zelda in the app at the top because I have mine in the top left, and it takes up like 3 or 4 blocks or whatever, it's pretty big. And I'm like, "Oh, is there some Zelda news?" So I clicked on it, and it was this, casting announcement. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." So, yeah. I think that's exciting. Now, obviously, these two actors are relatively unknown. I had not heard of them before. They've done a few bits and pieces, mostly I think TV work, but they're not. It's not like Chris Pratt as Mario, or Seth Rogen even as Donkey Kong. So they're relatively new to movies, which I think is a good move. I think it's maybe better to have some relative unknowns. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you because now when I go to see the movie, I'm not going to be picturing other people.
Mm-hmm.
These two are immediately going to represent the characters for me, so
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I also like that they're so young
Yes.
because
Mm-hmm.
that to me means we're building something here because we've got a couple years. This is going to be in production, so they're going to, yeah, obviously grow a bit, but I think this also means we're getting sequels
Mm.
because you don't want to cast someone who's too old and then becomes too old for the part. Now we get to watch Zelda and Link grow over the course of, let's say, 3 movies. Everything's trilogies, right?
Mhm.
So now we could start off with Toon Link and grow up to Twilight Princess Link.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, I noticed that too because I think he in particular is quite young. I think he's only 16 or something. He's a
Yeah,
teenager.
he's got a
Yeah.
baby face,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which I'm sure will be lessened with makeup and lighting and good camera work and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girl looks a little. I mean, she's what, 23, something like that.
I think 21 maybe. Yeah,
Oh,
early 20s though, yeah.
but yeah, that's and especially for females, I think they mature a bit quicker. So I feel like I was showing my wife Jen, and she's like, I can picture her as Princess
Mm.
Zelda. We had a little bit harder time with Link, but um, I agree with what Kirk was saying. I think it's good that we aren't overly familiar with these guys, especially for me, because my habit with movies or TV shows is I have the IMDb open, and I'm like, hey,
Mhm.
remember season 3 of this show? That guy was in the background of that episode where.
Yes.
And I end up spending the whole time in the IMDb rabbit hole, and I don't pay
Yeah.
attention to the show.
Yeah.
Obviously, in a theater, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to be that guy. But if I
Yeah.
was to get it on DVD or, um, boy, at Blu-ray, that even sounds old. Digitally, probably.
Yeah.
I could just enjoy the movie and get lost in the characters. Like Kirk said,
Mm.
these are going to be the theatrical Link and Zelda for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And as they grow physically, they can grow into the roles more too.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's makes perfect sense, honestly. And yeah, I suppose I should have used their names initially, but Bo Bragason is the female lead for the Zelda movie. She's playing Zelda, and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth is playing Link, and they're both British actors as well, so they'll have nice accents for us. I think that's. I mean, we've never heard Link speak before, but doesn't Zelda have a bit of an English accent when she speaks in the games?
Yeah, and Breath of the Wild, kind
Yeah,
of. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not sure what the accent is, but it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see what they give Link because
Mm.
we've only ever heard him. I think in Wind Waker, he'd be like, "Come on!" Like if he was calling, um,
Yeah.
like Medley or Makar, one of those little guys. But I wonder how much dialogue they're going to give him, or
Mm.
is he going to communicate with a look? Like that's my only hesitation. I think whoever the actor was going to be for Link, the first time he opens his mouth, there's going to be people
Yeah.
being like, "That doesn't sound like the way I heard him in my head for the past 30 plus
It'd
years
be
or whatever."
great if he started talking and had like this thick Southern accent. Maybe he
Um,
won't talk. Maybe they'll have like that. What's the fairy's name? I forgot.
Oh, like Navi or something?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
can kind of float around and talk for him.
oh
Yeah.
God, we'll be hearing, hey, listen," throughout the whole movie.
I hope they do have at least one "Hey, listen" though, just for, like, an Easter egg or something. I think that'd be
Uh,
cool.
that'd be the
I
stinger after the credits, maybe.
Yeah, 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 and maybe Link will lose his voice for a portion of the movie, like, he'll be cursed or something. Because how else could they make him not speak? Or he keeps getting interrupted, like when Maggie was grown up in The Simpsons,
Yeah,
and she never got to speak because someone kept talking over her.
yeah. I was kind of wondering that too. Um, I just don't know because, like, I mean, it's going to sound obvious and goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. A movie's different from a game, and things you
Mm,
can get away with in a game, you can't get away with when you're a passive viewer of a screen. So, um, I think if they can overcome that challenge, and hopefully immediately, like maybe the opening words will be Link talking.
mm,
If I was making the movie, that's what I would do. I would have maybe even in a trailer have Link narrating it, just so it wouldn't be a talking point, and then people can totally get lost in the settings and the actors and the plot. And yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
that's a good idea. But I feel like they will do Zelda talking in the trailer just because she seems to be the one who talks in the games. But you're right, that would make perfect sense. Maybe they will. They'll have like he'll have to talk. He can't be a silent protagonist
I
for a
wonder
whole
who's going to
movie.
be Ganon. Ganon would be a good narrator if they get the right actor.
Yeah, and they might use a bigger name for him potentially. I don't know. But yeah, that would be interesting. Mm.
Not
I'm
Jack
waiting to
Black.
see who gets cast as Tingle.
Oh man.
Anyone in mind? Because people were talking about certain actors that they wanted as Link and Zelda. Obviously, that's a moot point now because we know who they actually are. But we can still speculate on Ganon if you like. Matt Berry.
Oh, bet he could do the voice if he was dubbing a more imposing actor.
Mm. Hmm.
Um, but I could definitely see that if he was like doing the dub because he definitely has that deep.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but
I just can't take him
I don't think he
seriously.
could be.
No.
He couldn't be Ganon physically. He could be Tingle physically, maybe. He's got
Yes.
to get that build.
He could, and he'd be funny that way too. Yeah.
Oh man. Imagine that, guys. If Matt Berry was Tingle, and then in the credits we find out, and the voice of Ganon was also Matt Berry.
Would he have to get paid for two roles?
I don't know how
I
that
would
works.
think
Hopefully,
so,
surely you'd have to get extra pay, wouldn't you?
unless he went uncredited, and then it was speculation. But his
Mm,
voice is so distinct. I mean,
it is, yeah. Or what's the one from? Oh, Brian Blessed.
ah,
He's
Physically, yeah. For I would say Brian Blessed maybe 30 years ago
yeah,
would be
I
yeah,
guess
able
I
to.
haven't heard him recently.
yeah. No,
But
me neither, actually.
is he
Oh,
sounding like Marge Simpson nowadays? Because
well, I mean, define recently. He was in Peppa Pig and he sounded pretty good, but that was probably 5 to 10 years ago now, to be honest. So
hey, I don't know what that is. Sorry.
you don't know what Peppa Pig is?
I mean,
What?
Do you not know Peppa Pig?
I think I've heard. Like, is it a video game? Maybe.
Yeah, it is now, but it's a TV show. It's a kids' TV
Oh,
show. It's
well,
quite
see, you guys have kids. I don't have kids.
yeah. It's quite English though, to be honest. It's a British show. So it's more prevalent, I would say, in Australia than probably the US. I don't know. But
Hey, I just recently discovered Bluey, so
yeah.
cut me some slack.
And Bluey is awesome too. So yeah. Cool. All right. Anything else about this Zelda casting? Zelda and Link casting before we move on? Are we good? So
No.
we
I
yeah?
think for next episode we should each come up with like our top five picks for Ganon.
Yeah, okay. That sounds like a fun challenge. Yeah.
Well, we got to qualify it. Is Ganon going to be all CGI, or are we going to have someone like actually moving around and then just some
Mm,
kind of prosthetic to make him look
You can
I'd
have
like?
who's
yeah.
Aquaman? You can have Jason Momoa as the body of Ganon,
Oh, yeah.
but dub his voice
Yeah.
to something more regal.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather have a real person than I think. CGI has its place, of course, but I think it can get overused and it depends on how it's done, of course. It can distract or detract even from the movie if it's not done well, or do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh yeah, like what was that? The Rock when he was in that Mummy movie, the first one.
Yeah, that was definitely distracting. Yeah, that was we'll never get over that, I don't think.
Wait,
I
like
think
the Brendan Fraser ones?
Yeah, he
Oh,
was
it's a
in like
spin-off,
an
wasn't it?
introduction. He was in an
Oh.
introduction to the sequel, I think, and then they made a spin-off, but it was then it was at the end. He was at the very end of the sequel. He
Oh,
was like
wow.
a scorpion that fought Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
that's right.
scorpion with the rock's face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
That was
hopefully
nice.
CGI is getting better. And what was that, like 20 years ago?
Yeah, yeah, hopefully. I
Well,
would
the
assume
rock
so.
got better, so yeah, the CGI probably did too.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let us know, listeners, who you think should play Ganon in the Zelda movie. I'd love to know your thoughts. Now, we did touch on Amiibo earlier, and that was because there is a new Amiibo out with the Donkey Kong Bonanza game. I do have said Amiibo. I did go and buy it. Interestingly, Trav, the price in the US, you said it was $29 for the Donkey Kong Amiibo, right?
Yeah, tariffs hit it. It's, I think, yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's 30.
because it's $29 here, like 29 Australian dollars, which means it's probably 15 to 20 US dollars.
Huh.
So that's for you to have $29. That means Australian dollars for me. If I was to convert it, that's 40 to 50. That's a lot. So yeah, that is a lot. That's a shame. Because what are they usually like? What do they usually retail as in America? 20,
Uh,
15, 20?
no, they were like, what, 15, 16, I think?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
about
about
where
right.
they started. Yeah.
Mm. So that's a shame because yeah, it's the normal price here, which I was pleased to see, especially because it's quite a big amiibo. Like it has Donkey Kong and Pauline. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did test it. I don't know. I thought I was going to get some outfit for Pauline, but maybe I had to pre-order it or something. But what it does is it gives you the Kong letters, like the KONG, and then these giant blocks you can pick up and hurl, and they smash. So you can use them to break down
Mm.
things, I suppose, which is pretty cool. I haven't tried any other amiibo yet, but I believe Trev has a new amiibo in his collection as well. Not the Donkey Kong one, but what have you got for us?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the Donkey Kong one. I'm like, for 30 bucks, you know what I'd want?
Yeah.
Almost like a transformer where you could flip it and Pauline would turn back into the rock. And then you could turn the
Yes.
base and like that would be cool, but that's probably too many
Mm,
moving parts.
yeah.
Um, yeah, my amiibo is not as exciting, but I was away recently and I got a new in box no less for like $9. Um, Captain Olimar and the Pikmin, which was one of the earlier Smash Brother amiibos.
Oh, nice. $29 is good. Yeah.
Yeah, a new in box. I'm like, wow. I'm like pristine. I saw it. I did like a little double take. I'm like, wait, what does that say? I'm like, grab that. I'm getting that.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's a good one too. Yeah. Because there are
Yes.
only there are only 2 Pikmin related amiibo, I think.
I think yeah, the other one is like the individual Pikmin like trying to pick up a piece of environment or something.
Yeah, it looks like an anchor or something on the left.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. I have both of them. Yes.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Kirk have either of those? The Pikmin amiibo?
I don't have any Pikmin amiibo, which is surprising because I love the game so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now you can live vicariously through Trev and I.
I will.
I'm
Yes.
waiting for my Donkey Kong amiibo to show up for $9. I'll be all over
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's gotta impact sales though, right? That steep price, surely. Not of your $9 one, but of the
Oh
$29.
yeah. I
Yeah.
would think because I feel like amiibo when they first came out, and granted that was a long time ago now, and the Wii U was certainly much slower, but I feel like they were more of an impulse buy back then.
Mm.
And then they
Mhm.
gradually went up, a buck or two here, and then they started coming out with more elaborate ones, right? Like
Mm.
like Zelda alongside the Loftwing, or um, bigger Detective Pikachu, or
Yeah.
Yoshi that's actually soft, or
Yeah. Yeah.
things like this. And yeah, I guess as long as they continue, or once the situation settles out, as long as they keep having like a base level amiibo that's under 20, then maybe they
Mhm.
can splurge and have some of these other ones, but I don't
Yeah.
know. It's confusing.
It is confusing. I like that they just do I mean, I would love more, of course, but it's nice that there's just the one Donkey Kong and Pauline amiibo, not like a Donkey Kong amiibo and then a Donkey Kong with a costume amiibo and then Donkey Kong and Pauline amiibo, only because then you have to buy 3. Like, for example, like, it's easier to kind of, like you said, splurge or impulse buy 1. When the Switch 2 was released, they released a bunch of new Zelda-related amiibo, which it's harder to impulse buy. I did impulse buy them, mind you. But there were 4, and that was a lot more expensive. And, like, for example, there are 3, I think, Street Fighter 6 amiibo, which I don't have just because there are 3 of them. And those ones, for some reason, I think in Australia at least, are a little bit more expensive than usual amiibo for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe they're bigger.
Huh.
But I haven't got those 3 yet. It's on my wish list, but because they're a bit more expensive and there are 3 of them, it's harder to justify. If it was 1, I probably would have just got it. Yeah, that's just my take.
Yeah, because like, which one do you start with? And then you have it on the shelf, and it looks weird by itself, and you're like, well,
yeah, exactly. Anyway, well, thank you for the amiibo update, and that kind of leads us to talking about Pikmin into Nintendo's latest sweepstakes, which is pretty cool. Kirk, did you want to talk about this one since it was your find?
Yeah, I think I've become the sweepstakes guy.
You
And I
have.
don't know why I do this because I enter, and then when I talk about it, all I'm doing is decreasing my chances of winning.
That's so true.
Like to share the love, I guess. Yeah, they're giving away. It's called the Pikmin Summerwear Sweepstakes. So it's what you're entering this time for a T-shirt. There's just like a printed T-shirt with a bunch of different Pikmin on it, and then there's a button-up shirt that you can get. It's kind of like got a black base, and then a whole lot of pattern textures of Pikmins and leaves, and kind of cool looking. And then, well, I don't understand this term. I'm going off what they describe it here on the website. A dad cap, is that a thing now? To me, it's just a ball cap. So I don't know what makes a ball cap a dad cap, but it's kind of a tan baseball cap with Pikmin on it. So, kind of cute stuff. Some of this I think I would wear. The really funny thing to me about it is the prizes that they're giving away for the shirts are only available in adult, medium, or large.
Oh, okay. No
So,
small size.
Yeah, no small and
no
no
extra
extra large, which
Mm.
Around here is probably the size most people would go for, I guess. So I find that strange. But you have until August 27th to get your entries in, and as before, you just redeem your platinum points, 10 points, and you can redeem them up to 5 times for 50 points to be able to enter.
Cool. Yeah, when I saw the
just
picture, I
entered.
didn't. No, you just entered?
I did.
Okay, that's one
I
less
want
chance you have, Kirk.
I want that dad cap. I think it's just because dads have like little bald spots. Maybe the cap will cover it.
That could be. Well, I guess there's that they call some caps trucker caps. Those are the ones with like the mesh on the back, right? So it probably means something. I don't know.
I've never heard that phrase, the dad cap, before. No.
That shirt's pretty loud. Now that I'm looking at it, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize it was a collared shirt, but it is actually. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
wear it to work, wear it to church.
yeah. Wear it to a nice restaurant. Do your thing. Wear it to a wedding.
I still got one. I did 3, but I got one more coming up. I could.
Yeah, there you go.
I need this shirt.
Hey, I've seen people wear worse at weddings. So
yeah. Are there also some DK sweepstakes as well? Who wanted to talk to this one?
Yeah. When I was looking at the Pikmin link, yeah, I saw that they have a couple DK rewards. I think one's just like a wallpaper or something, so probably not the most exciting. But they have like a towel, I think, a rally towel. I'm not sure what a rally towel is. Like,
where are they getting these phrases from?
is that like when you're at a ball game, like and you're whipping the towel? Like, okay.
So like if my kids ever do get Donkey Kong Bananza, I could stand behind them and wave this towel around for inspiration, I guess.
That's pretty cool. So they got that, and then there's also a sweepstakes. I guess sort of like the Pikmin one, where they got a shirt too, and it's just as loud as the Pikmin one from the looks of it.
Yeah. They've called this one a Hawaiian shirt. So
yeah.
Yeah, you can only wear it in Hawaii, apparently.
So
it's not fancy enough for church, this one, or the wedding.
No.
Oh, they also got a beach towel.
Oh, what? Sorry,
Wow.
a beach towel.
Beach towel.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
There's the
We're all
rally
so
towel, which
excited. We're
is little.
talking over each other about the beach towel.
So exciting.
Can't contain
Yeah.
ourselves.
The rally towel is tiny, but the beach towel is 30 by 60.
Mm.
So that's when you don't want to whip around when your kids are playing, unless you're giving them a rat tail.
Yeah. I think the pins are nice. The pins are the best thing in there, I reckon. There's like 4
Yeah.
pins, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong set of pins. They're pretty neat.
And like Pikmin, I just entered. So
Nice. Cool. Well, good luck to both of you in your respective
I never
sweepstakes.
win.
You get a wireless controller in this sweepstake. Did you mention that?
No,
Oh,
you
not.
didn't.
I don't
But
think
yeah,
so.
that
That's
is.
the big one too. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Rematch wireless controller, $60 value.
It
That's
says for
pretty cool.
Nintendo Switch, but it also works on Switch too.
Yeah, it should do.
Yep.
So
The Switch.
except for
Can't chat.
the game chat, obviously it's not gonna. But
Yeah. Yeah. That's okay. Cool. Thank you for bringing those to our attention. And one more piece of news from Kirk, which seems a bit funny. What's happened?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny too. Well, we remember my 3-point plan.
Yes, to get the Switch
Was it
2.
3, 4?
It was 3 with a bonus one, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, it could be. I didn't need to rely on it. I ended up getting my Switch 2 on day one, but back on May 15th, May 16th. Let me see here. Yeah, May 16th is when I got my email from Nintendo regarding my Switch 2 invitation,
Mm-hmm.
telling me that that I'm still in line and to hang tight. And eventually I'm going to get my actual invitation to be able to purchase the Switch 2. And that actually came this week.
Right. 2 months
Yeah,
later.
2 months later, July 15th. Good news,
Wow.
they said. Nintendo Switch 2 plus Mario Kart World Bundle is waiting for you.
Wow. What did you do? Do you have to just like decline it or just leave it?
Well, you either buy it or you have what I don't know the actual hours. I think it was like 72, 76.
Oh, okay.
But my option to buy it actually is the time we're recorded would have passed an hour and a half ago, but Sam has been working this summer, and so Sam took my invitation and bought himself a Switch 2.
Oh, nice.
ooh,
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it didn't go to waste after all.
No, it did not come to waste.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yep.
Good on you, Sam.
It's not coming till next week or so, but yeah, he was kind of debating whether to do it for a while to spend all the money because this is his first job that he's had, and he's basically every dollar that he's made is now going to this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
after we ordered it, started listing all the games that he's looking forward to playing, so he's ready to go.
Is Donkey Kong one of them?
I was just gonna ask.
Well, but now if it is, he's going to take it with him back to college. I won't be able to play it.
Oh, true.
We could share it. He could give me the virtual game card when he's not into it. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you win the rally towel, you can let him play with it too.
I don't even know what a rally towel is. What is that? Like a tea towel?
Like the guys on the bench will whip a towel around to get the crowd pumped up when you're having a good run.
Do
Like
people
back in
do
the
that?
day, I was at Celtics. ML Carr used to be the towel guy. He wasn't a good player, but he would whip the towel. That was his thing, and it would get the crowd all psyched up. And
Oh, I've
Yeah, a
never
lot
heard
of
of that.
sports teams around here will hand them out to people when they come to the game. It's like a bonus that you get for buying your ticket. The first 10,000 in the stadium will get a rally towel, and then you can wave it around and make your arm tired.
Okay, I did not know that. There you go. I've
Yeah.
learned something new. Thank you.
I think in Australia they just have chants. You guys have really good rhythmic chants for all your sports teams, and here we just got to wave towels.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's better than nothing, right? So excellent. Well, I'm glad that Sam is getting a Switch too. That's good news. And yeah, better late than never, right? So
Yeah,
Hmm.
and that's good news for our listeners who may not have gotten theirs yet. If they're still coming, I guess is the moral to the story.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
haven't been forgotten by Nintendo. You've just been cast aside until there's no one left.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. Thank you. Let's move on to the games that we're playing this week. Now, obviously, I'm playing Donkey Kong Bananza. I didn't want to, we're kind of eating up our time very easily. Yeah, I want to give you guys a chance to talk about your games too. So what else can I add about Donkey Kong Bonanza except to say that it looks wonderful, it plays really well. I've already said that I find myself very distracted. I am, I'm a collector file or what was the term you used before, Trev?
Like a
Completionist.
completionist.
Completionist,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think you can complete everything. As in, you can't just collect all the gold nuggets. They're just everywhere. I've got over 10,000. It's ridiculous. But because I've grown up with Mario games and I love to collect all the coins, like I just need to collect as many gold nuggets as I can. But it's good in a way because, yeah, you don't have to feel like you have to collect everything. But there are a lot of things to collect. Like there's these gold nuggets, which are in plentiful supply. There are these little kind of little round tokens, which are less, there are less of those or fewer of those than the gold, but I don't even know what they do yet. I haven't actually been able to spend them anywhere, but they're kind of like these circles that look like little tokens. Then there are fossils, which you can use those to purchase clothing, which I've now done. I turned Donkey Kong green, which Hayden was very like, why is he green? I'm like, I don't know. I bought some green fur. So and yeah, I got him some board shorts. I got him a new tie. I got Pauline a new outfit. So yeah, you can do that. You can trade in your fossils. And I think the good thing about the fossils is there is a number of them to find, as in a set number. So in level 1 or world 1, whatever you want to call it, there are 61, I believe. And so every time you collect one, it says you've now got, 20 out of 61, whatever it is. And so I've got about half of the first world's fossils. And I could easily have gone around trying to find more, but like I said earlier, I decided to move forward to World 2. So I'm up to World 2 right now, so I can actually progress with the game. And then there's these other kind of fossils, which are also used for clothing, but they're rarer. There's only a couple of these in each level, and I've only found 2 of those so far, and they're just a different shaped fossil, basically. So that's a rarer find. Is that all the collectibles? And then there's the vanadium, like the big bananas. And these are a bit like the moons, I suppose, in Mario Odyssey, where it's like you find it and it's like completing a task, like the banana behind the cement wall kind of thing. And you had to randomly find the cement wall and dig around, and there's a banana hidden there. So a lot of them are just in random places and you just have to dig around and look for them. Like I said, you can slap the ground and you can sort of see a shape of a banana in the distance. You're like, oh, there's a banana over there. I'll go find it. You also get them as rewards for those like bonus challenges that I touched on. And there's also timed challenges and boss challenges. There's heaps of these cool challenges out there. And so I've got to think about 40 of these vanadium, the big banana gems. And every time you get 5, you get a skill point. And so you can use these skill points to upgrade your like health or your power, so you can bash the rocks faster. You can upgrade your, what else? There's heaps. You can unlock new moves as well, like the surfboard move. You can make the range when you do the hand slap and it tells you where the hidden things are. You can make that range bigger by a certain percentage. There's a lot to unlock. So I've done a few of those. The other
Can you
cool
unlock the rally towel move?
probably. There's a few grayed off ones yet that I can't see, so I'm sure one of them is a rally towel. But would it be Donkey Kong or Pauline swinging the towel? That's what I want to know.
Oh,
I think she's the one on his shoulder, just rallying him like, "Go DK!" And Pauline is awesome, by the way. I love her. She's so cool. Um, her voice is great. The music in this game is really, really good. The singing just feels quite natural. Like you just press the L button, she sings, and there's like a line. It helps you as well. Like there's certain elements of the environment that can only be destroyed by her singing. This is something you find out very early on when she's still a rock. And then you can also use her voice to find your next objective. If you've lost your way, you can sort of press the L button and it'll put a little exclamation point and put some waves of music in the direction you need to go. That's really handy. The other one thing I'll say before we move on is I've unlocked the first of the, what do you call them? The Kong Bonanzas, the transformations. So I've done the first one, which is, I think it's just called Kong Bonanza. There's like the zebra one and the ostrich one that we've seen in the trailers. Kong Bonanza is awesome. He is just like a bigger, stronger version of Donkey Kong. And you just go crazy bashing everything. There's a time limit because you use those gold nuggets that I said, the 10,000 that I have, those go towards your Kong transformations. So you want to keep collecting them because you want to use them at some point. But it's really easy to switch between them. It's really easy to use. He has a special move. The Kong Bananza has a special move where you press the Y button and he does like you hold the Y button, sorry, and he does like a charged punch, which is even stronger. So he's probably good for boss fights as well. I've done a couple of boss fights so far. I've met the Void Company from the trailer that we've seen, and we're sort of racing now to the planet core. Basically, is the plot. But yeah, there's a lot to cover, so I could go on and on, but I won't because we've sort of covered Donkey Kong a lot already, and I'm happy to talk more about it next week when I've played it a bit more. But yeah, any questions before we do move on to other games? Because there's a lot to it. But it is
I
really
think you're
fun.
pretty thorough.
Yeah, it's really fun. It is really fun. I think it's the sort of game that you'll be able to play for long periods of time without it becoming like tedious or boring. Like even in the developers interview, they mentioned something about the sound effects of the crushing rocks. And I read the interview after I'd been playing it for several hours. And even when I was playing it, I noticed, I'm like, this crushing of rock sound should be annoying by now because it's constant. You're always bashing rocks, but it's not at all. And they talk about how they used real life sound effects, like they made crushing noises in real life and recorded them. And it just has a good feel to it. So yeah, it's really good. I am also playing the Wild Hearts S demo, which was my only game of the week at one point until I got Donkey Kong Bananza. So that was what I was going to concentrate on. But in reality, this game comes out on the 25th of July, I believe. So during the week coming up. And I think, Kirk, I think you and I spoke maybe offline about this briefly, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not at all familiar with this series. It's a bit like a Monster Hunter type of game, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah. And
Well, it's new, right?
yeah,
This I think this is the like them launching their Koei Tecmo launching their like Monster Hunter style
yeah,
franchise.
yeah. And so there is a demo. So I would encourage anyone interested to go and try it because it's free and it's there and it seems pretty robust. I didn't get a chance to finish the demo, which I was hoping to do, but then Donkey Kong came into my life. But it's really cool so far and it looks lovely. You start one thing I like is you begin in this world and you don't really know why you're there and you're just covered with these big furry coats. And so I thought I was just some dude. But then eventually when you meet someone, you start talking to them, they're like, hey, tell me about yourself. And then that's when the avatar creation tool comes into play and you can be whoever you want. So I made myself whatever I wanted. And you can choose between male and female, of course. So yeah, you're not just like Link, or Donkey Kong. You're not just like a set character. You can, even though it starts off that way, I thought I was like this set character. You can choose who you are. But yeah, I've only had a few encounters with actual animals. The combat's pretty good, but I did get myself into some trouble with this random boss. I think it's like a boss. It's this huge creature who I just could not kill. So I stopped there, basically. But it certainly looks lovely, and I would definitely encourage people to give it a try if they're interested. What I'm more interested in hearing about, though, is what Kirk's playing, because this is a game we've talked about a bit recently.
Yes, and I am playing Shadow Labyrinth, the which just came out for the Switch and Switch 2 July 18th. So today, as we're recording,
Nice.
Friday, as you're listening to the podcast,
Mm.
um, and right, I'm early. I'm early in it. I'm a little mixed right now with optimism. The good thing is it's as weird as I was hoping it would be. Like we talked before about if you're going to like remake a game and take like a beloved I don't want to say character. I never considered Pac-Man a character, but an element of a game and put it in something completely different, then just go as wild with it as you possibly can. And that's what they've done here. There's nothing in the premise of this game that feels like it would have derived from Pac-Man or Ms. Pac-Man or any of those style things. But it's also disjointed right now. I'm waiting to see if the story eventually starts to make any sense whatsoever. Like it begins with it starts with a battle where you're kind of like a mech robot attacking these things and you can't even get hurt. And then we cut to like this scene of someone in a cloak playing what looks like a Switch 2 or something like and like in some kind of weird dystopian city maybe, and then there's like a crashed spaceship or something, and then Puck Man or Pac-Man, they refer to him as Puck, which of course is a throwback to the original title of Pac-Man
Oh,
at the
yeah.
time.
Right.
So Puck and comes along and says, "Oh, your swordsman number 8." So I'm thinking, all right, well, what happened to the other 7? And this game's probably going to be hard now. And he kind of like brings you along and is giving you bits of the lore, but not really. It's kind of like he has an agenda and you're going to help him, and you got no choice because I really got to get this thing done. And then you start playing like a Castlevania kind of game where you're going around and you're killing things. A lot of it is just sword fighting and dodging, jumping. But the puck element is there. There are a couple things that happen. First, there are parts where he hops on what they call a D line, and that's kind of like in the original Pac-Man game where you're sort of moving around a maze, except you're attached to it. There's not like you don't have walls on both sides. You're just attached to this and moving around. You can get to the top of the screen, for example, and you can jump off and you can attack items while you're on it. And that's where it kind of feels a little bit like Pac-Man. It makes a sound that's sort of like Pac-Man, and there is a DLC you can download that brings in the original Pac-Man sounds while you're
Huh.
playing this.
Cool.
Doesn't change the graphics, just the audio, but I thought that was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
And the other thing is when you kill some of the enemies, you can become this like giant. That you've seen it in the trailer. It's to me, it reminds me of Shin Godzilla for some reason. This giant mouth that's going to come down and it eats the enemies that you've killed, and therefore you're able to like get parts and stuff that you could use to upgrade your abilities. And you're going to need to upgrade your abilities because the game is really hard. Uh, Now, I say that as a guy who generally is not great at these kind of games to begin with. So, anyone who's aced at these sort of Castlevania style games before, may not find it as difficult. But I think the first boss that I went up against really wasn't hard, but I had to fight him maybe 3 times. The second one that I went up against was considerably harder for me. You have like an energy meter. I can't remember the name of it right now. That if you roll, you use that, but you need to make sure you don't use that completely because that's what you have to do to become the giant Pac-Man that eats the things. So there's a lot to manage and a lot to upgrade as you die and go back, and anything that you've acquired is still there. So now you're getting more of the in-game currency, so you can buy stuff and improve your various abilities. So it's a kind of game you're going to need to do over and over and over again until you actually have what you need to progress, or you're just really, really good at this kind of game and you're able to get by without it. But so I've got a long way to go, a lot to discover, and I'm hoping what I've discovered kind of makes everything make a little more sense than it does right now. Because although the premise of the game is what I was hoping it would be, just really bizarre, the narrative is a little too, as I mentioned earlier, disjointed for me to really get into it at the moment.
Interesting. Okay. Yep. I hope it does. I hope you do end up enjoying it then, because it sounds like it's got potential, but yeah, it also sounds very weird, honestly.
And it doesn't have a download or it doesn't have a demo either. But the good thing about it is it's only $30, and if you buy the Switch version and then need to upgrade, there is an upgrade pack and it's free. So whether you're getting Switch 2 or Switch, you're only spending $30 for what's basically a platformer. And I think that's fair. I think it's a good price that Bandai Namco gave us. And yeah, just if you're buying it because you want to play Pac-Man, don't. If you're buying it because you want a good Castlevania style game, then have at it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that is a good price, and I would love that it's a free upgrade to Switch 2. I think that's
Hmm.
pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and all it does is improve. It gives you like 4K and better frame rate. Like that's it. There are no extra bonuses or anything. So
Mm.
totally fair.
Are you playing the Switch 2 version?
Yes, I am.
Yep. Nice. Cool. What about you, Trev? What's on your plate this week?
Okay, so the game I'm reviewing is called The Wizard of Bug, which is a silly sounding title for what's
It is.
actually a pretty basic puzzle game, but it's fun. It comes out July 31st, and it's essentially a spin on what do they call those Sokoban puzzles? You know the type I'm talking about,
Sokoman?
like a Sokoban, Sokoban. We probably all reviewed games
Oh,
that are
yeah.
in that
Like,
puzzle mode.
is it like moving?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you
Um,
move and they move kind of thing? Is it that?
well, it is a lot of moving, but basically what they've done here is they've tried to give it a story. I don't think a puzzle game really needs it, and I'm not sure if this originated in Japan and there was some issues with translation, but it honestly doesn't read the best. So I've been kind of ignoring the story and just focusing on the puzzles. There's a window dressing of like you're on this adventure, like RPG, dungeon crawler type of thing, and you have to eliminate the enemies and do so in such a way where you always have one heart remaining. So you got to do them in a certain order and move a certain way to ensure that you have enough hearts left. Because basically, each time you hit an enemy, you both lose a heart. And some of the times you'll start and you have less hearts, and you're like, how do I get more hearts? And how do I get by this guy without knocking my own heart off? It
Mm.
definitely has us thinking. My wife's playing alongside me because she has a good head for puzzle games, and sometimes we're overthinking it and we're like, "Oh, how do we do this?" And I'm like, "Wait, can't we just do that?" And sure enough, and then other times I'm like, "Oh, this is a glitch or something," and then we solve it, and we're like, "Oh my god, how do we miss that? It's so obvious." So that's good. I like the fact that it's exercising some gray matter, so to speak. And early in the game, you meet a second character within the dungeon, and they have a similar move set, but it's different in terms of how they operate. Um, like they can't move up the grid, for instance. So it's like, oh, if I miss that enemy, I'm up a creek. So you have to kind of work your way down, or they can't push hearts off the enemies. So sometimes you can juggle between the two of them, and that's when the puzzles are really good. And sometimes you're limited to one character or the other. Um, but it's fun. It's challenging. There is a rewind, which is helpful, although not as helpful as you might think, because usually if you have to rewind, you're better off just starting a puzzle over because you're in too deep and you made too many mistakes. But it's helpful if you accidentally make like one mistake at the end or something. You can go back, and there are basic hints, although again, the translation makes them of limited use in my experience. Um, but it's fun, and I'm looking forward to unlocking some things because there's more levels after you beat the game. I don't think they're tied into any type of story, which is probably just for the better. And there's also a level designer. I'm not sure how much I'd use that, but I always get a kick out of those. Um,
Cool.
yeah, 12.99. It does seem a tad high for a puzzle game like this, but again, I haven't unlocked everything. So in terms of sheer content, I think it's worth it if you're just looking at that alone. And yeah, July 31st it comes out, so I'll be
And
playing this for a little while.
it looks like there's a demo as well for that one.
Oh, how about that? I did not know that.
Yeah. So you could try it if you like the sound of it, which I
I hope
assume.
people don't ignore that because of the name, Wizard of Bug. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even know what that means.
Is the character called, is that female anime type character in the, you know, overview, what do you call it? Title screen? Is she named Bug? Like,
No,
no?
her
Okay.
and the other girl, I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but they have names, like real names, human names, not,
Oh, yeah, like Shirley
yeah,
and
not nicknames. So
Ella. Is it Shirley and Ella?
that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. According
Um,
to the screenshots.
yeah, it's weird even to look at it. Like at first, I'm like, is this a visual novel? Because it's showing this anime chick, and then I'm looking more, and I'm like, oh, it's a puzzle game. I feel like they waste some screen real estate showing the character art on either side or
Mm,
the
yeah.
hints, but um, yeah, ignore the look of it and ignore the title, and just yeah, enjoy some fun puzzling, and let me know how to pronounce it if it's Sakaman Sokoban.
Yeah, I know the word you mean. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's just it says in the description, the eShop listing, there's 100 stages in the story mode that you're playing. And then there's 512 automatically generated stages that unlock after beating the game. That's a lot.
That is a lot, and that's why I'm like, okay, in terms of just the content, $12.99 doesn't seem bad.
Mm,
Um, but again,
yeah.
I'm thinking of just games like this that I played in the past that were like, oh, $1.99 or something. It's all relative, but they do
Yeah.
try to give this a different window dressing with the characters and with that environment and having doors within the dungeon locked behind. You have to beat X amount of puzzles before you can get in, and then having
Mm,
like almost boss characters that you can't beat, and then you have to like go do what there's a measure of non-linear. It's not linear because you can jump from one puzzle to another if you're struggling, which I appreciate. Um, yeah, it's an interesting game. It's not what I expected when I first looked at it, which is probably for the best. And yeah, it's just a game that really gets me thinking. I can only play it at certain times and
yeah.
only if
Yeah.
Jen's alongside me because I
Yeah.
can feel like a headache coming on. I'm like, what do I do here? And the screen's not that big. They're all like, it's not like the rooms are scrolling and multi-layered. It's a single screen room. So there's only so much you can do, but they managed to
Mm,
do a lot. There's a reason why these types of puzzles find their way into games on and off
yeah.
throughout the years.
I know why. I think I know why you might have thought it was a visual novel. the The intro is in the eShop description again says a novel and stimulating brain bending puzzle adventure. So
Oh, how about that? Planting subliminal.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Even in the game, the introduction has like this artwork that sort of has like I don't know what like art technique or theory, but it's got like a watercolor type of look. These screenshots, and
Mm, mhm.
they really try to establish this plot, which doesn't mean a lick to me, but maybe some people would get into it, and maybe the further I get into the game, it'll start meaning more. But um, yeah, I give them credit. They took a basic puzzle game and have really tried to elevate it.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. Thank you, Trev. I hope you continue to enjoy it, and we can't wait to hear your final thoughts when that's done and dusted. Same with Shadow Labyrinth, Kirk. I'd be interested to see your final what score you end up giving that one, honestly,
Yep.
for both of
Same
those.
with Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Like it's going to do well. I mean, I'll keep playing it to see how I go, but it's going to be interesting to see what I end up giving it because yeah, we'll see. We'll see. You'll find out soon enough. Any other points of discussion or comments before we close things off for the week?
Not here.
Nah, we're almost at 20 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've
I
had a
mean, an
nice
hour, 20 minutes is what I meant.
20. I know it's been a full. I told you at the start it was a big week, and it was. But no, we had a lot to talk about, especially with Donkey Kong Bonanza. So thank you both for joining me this week, and thank you, listeners. We did get some lovely comments during the week on our last week's episode, so thank you for those. I'm glad to hear. Kirk, you'll be interested to know that both two comments both agreed with our Pikmin
Yep. I
desires.
saw.
Yeah, which is
I
nice.
saw and thumbed up.
Yes, nice. As well as Jose, who's into Donkey Kong already, which is great to hear. Hopefully, you're enjoying that one and liked our coverage today. But yes, thank you for joining us again this week. If you'd like to follow us on social media, we are on Blue Sky. We have our awesome website, purenintendo.com, for all our news and reviews. And if you'd like to support us, you can head on over to patreon.com/purenintendo and you'll get yourself a copy of our physical magazine, the Pure Nintendo magazine, which the next issue of which is in development right now. So stay tuned. But again, until next week, thank you and game on, everybody. Bye.
See ya.